I could not have her be like the most famous Colby. I just couldn't.
Hold on now.
I was like, wait.
No, dial it back.
There's an egg shortage, but the mother hen is here, honey.
Welcome to the Logo Spill Bar. I'm your bartender and host, Johnny Sibley, and today I'm joined by a legendary drag artist, proud trans woman, and a mother to many drag children from the House of Colby, Miss Sasha Colby. Is that mother?
Mother has arrived.
I hope you're parched, darling, because it's time to spill. All right, Sasha, cheers to you. I am so happy that you're getting your flowers. You deserve, yes, exactly, very that. As someone who has had such an amazing drag career, why Drag Race, why now?
You know what's wild? Like, I never thought of my career as like amazing. Like most drag queens, we just do it.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of our means to an end. Only now is it called into like, wow, what has Sasha Colby done? Which, I mean, I just won one pageant. Like, it wasn't a lot. Like, they think I won every pageant.
Yeah.
But I guess, like, to be a Drag Race girl is, like, the pinnacle.
Yeah, like the
of
Super
what I
Bowl
do.
of drag.
Yeah, and for me as a performer, as a drag performer before Drag Race, to be able to be one of those that have been doing it before the show even started, where a lot of times now it's a lot of girls that are brought up watching Drag Race.
Totally.
So to represent the history of it is really exciting.
Well, I also know that, you know, because you've had a drag career, you know a thing or two about it, but what did you not expect when you went into that workroom that you were like, oh, this is not what I was thinking it was gonna be?
Well, living in LA, I knew it was like a show and the competition.
Right.
I just was I'm that pageant girl that's like, whatever with these other girls. You know, like, I'm worried about the challenges. I'm worried about not looking a fool for Snatch Game.
Yeah.
You know, I'm worried about the things that I can control.
Right.
And that's the one thing you can't is these other girls. And the thing that surprised me is that most of them are really nice. Most.
Right. We'll get it to you. Sippy sip. There was so much fun, fashion, fighting, you know, here and there. Who do you think you came out of the season closest to?
Well, I was always really close to Selena, like being LA girls.
Oh, yeah.
We've managed to like stay even closer. And she's also my neighbor, so we're always right.
Can't get rid of him.
I'm like, this is like the vortex of Drag Race. That's one block. But the girl that I probably got the closest with is Lucy LaDuca.
Oh.
Yeah, she's the closest to me in age. So we are the gals, like we get each other's jokes.
Yeah.
We gab. I feel like my mom, when she was on the phone with like my aunt, and they're just talking for at least 40 minutes, and we'll just, you know, air grievances. We want to do like a podcast of, I don't know.
Please do.
Yeah, like when you see us together, it's fun. It's wild because the show doesn't really get to show how much we all interacted.
Yeah.
Because I love all the girls. Like all the girls are so much fun, and we have like a great chat. I'm sure there's a lot of like subgroups, but none I'm in.
Was there anyone when you walked in the workroom and you like saw their drag, or you like the first go around that you were like, I gotta keep my eye on this bitch?
Yeah, actually, I really liked Malaysia's drag. She is very pageant, so my eye enjoys that. And Anitra, actually, her entrance look with the spikes on the head. Just knowing that she makes all her things, you know, it was there.
Yeah, and that lip sync y'all did together, I feel like is gonna go down in history. It was so good.
I'm telling you.
Yeah. Speaking of other girls, you know, drag has changed so much over the years. I mean, there's different ways. There's Drag Race, and now there's TikTok and Instagram, and you know, people come up through that. Do you feel like social media is ruining drag?
No, that's like saying having drag on the movies, like Tu Wong Fu or Mrs. Doubtfire was harming the fringe aspect of drag back then.
Right.
It's a little closer to normalizing it in everyday life. And so that's what we can really see with TikTok, because it's just a new way of communicating. It's these kids are born with it in their hands. So they can reach a different level than maybe some older queens can't.
Yeah.
But
Well, would
can
you
still
say
learn?
also because I have heard about recently because there are musicians that blow up on TikTok overnight,
Yeah.
but then they're on stage
Yeah.
and it's giving. So do you feel like the same could be said about drag, like that maybe you still need to put in the hours on stage?
Yes, for any profession, if you are calling yourself a professional with acting, with dancing, all these tools you have to hone like a muscle, like it's your craft. So I think that's why with me, certain things just become a little easier because I've dealt with something like that before.
Right.
So once you can recognize what happens, you know how you would react. It does make it easier to navigate certain things, and that's things you can't really like just copy from someone or watch from a tutorial.
Yeah.
So definitely, you got to get the foundation down there because the further down you go and like really worry on your foundation, that's how high you can go.
The roots got to be deep. Were there any looks opposed to your own that you saw and you're like, ooh, I wish that was on me?
Oh, I would have worn probably anything that Lux had on.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, because she's like Model S.
Yeah.
And she had that tie-dye look that she had. It was so cavalry and like the airbrush or tie-dye. I think it was dip-tied ostrich feathers.
Yeah.
You know how much ostrich feathers cost? When you dip 'em?
Speaking of how much it costs, how long did you prepare for this moment?
20 years!
That's a lot of money, baby.
Actually, more than 20 years. It was a couple of lifetimes.
Yeah.
They don't give you a lot of time. They definitely don't give you a lot of time to prepare.
Yeah.
But in the process, you know, if you're in the state of manifesting, you're already going to prepare for the things that you know you need, like an entrance, like a snatch game.
Yeah.
All those things, you know, you're going to try and prepare until they throw all this stuff at you.
Yeah.
Which is the competition as well. You know, production is also competition.
Were there any like queens over the years that you've known that before they knew you were even on that would give you advice like, if you make it, this is what you need to look out for?
No, I don't think anyone thought I was gonna make it.
Bitch!
No, I think they were like, oh, legend, which means you old. You're probably not gonna be on, girl. You know? So like, I don't think anybody ever thought like, even if I wanted to do it, to give me advice if they saw a tingling in it. And I was not always like, hey, what do you think? Like I never needed that, you know?
Yeah.
Like, hey, Trixie, what do you think I know? Girl. So no, they didn't. Nobody really gave me advice. But like one of my close sisters, Naisha and Brooke, and Roxy, who are all Continental girls, they always gave me good advice. Or I was just watching my sisters go through it. Yeah. Watching everyone, watching Detox, watching Kylie Sonique.
Yeah.
I was with her when she was doing All Stars.
Yeah.
We were together, living together during the pandemic. It was intense. I mean, it was a pandemic. And then she got this amazing opportunity. Yeah. So I got to watch and help and just take notes.
Yeah.
Which is really great.
In the back of your head, were you always like, okay, when I do it,
yeah. I really never even entertained the idea. I kind of thought like there wasn't really a space for trans until I really saw Got Mick. Like actually an out trans presenting person doing drag, being praised and being honored for it. Then I was like, okay, if they're going to go that far, there's space now. Yeah, you know,
you shake off this wig and get
and then like Sonique won, and then Carrie was on, and I'm like, okay, I feel like
now you're just really eating up everything about it, and we're so happy for you. You said you moved to LA in 2014 specifically to pursue Drag Race. Yeah. And you said before that being trans has hurt your drag career up until the pandemic. Why did you feel that being openly trans might have hurt your drag career?
Well, I think I actually pushed against that. Yeah. I think the actual experience was everyone was welcoming. But when I first moved here, a lot of the Continental people were like, why are you moving to LA? There's no trans drag there. Like, it's all like these for lack of better words, like butch queens, you know, working to get on Drag Race. I'm like, well, I mean, I'm doing drag, so drag is drag. And it took people like Delta Work and Raja and Morgan McMichaels to like give me my first bookings. And when someone that the general population feels is sickening says that you're sickening, you're their favorite drag queen's favorite drag queen.
Yeah. And not everyone can say that. Cheers. Ding. Any career, we have our ups and our downs. And you know, drag has been your main career. Were there any times where you were like, I'm throwing the towel in, bitch, I'm done?
Oh, a lot of times. Many a times. It was wild. Like, I'm like, let me just go and get this Starbucks. Let me do the trans Starbucks thing, you know. Get on the insurance, get all the surgery, you know. But something in me, the stubborn Leo, was like, I'm gonna prove it. Thank God it worked.
Yeah, prove it. And it's funny because I see you now, and you know, I watch you on the show, and you do have such a grounding Earth Mother energy. Are there any trans women that came before you that you were like, that's who I want to be like?
Oh my gosh, the list. You ready for the list?
We love a list.
We want names at the bottom.
Just a crawl.
And they're ats. No. Let's see. Okay. Like growing up, I was in that era of MySpace. So there was like, I was coming from like Ask Jeeves and Yahoo to Google, that era. So you would like Google drag queen. And like trans women would pop up. Mimi Marks, Monica Monroe, Erica Andrews, Chevelle Brooks, Cezanne were all the ones that I saw, Maya Douglas. And each of those girls that I just named has taught me at an early age when I first started working with them. I'm so grateful to work alongside your idols because then you really soak it all in, you know? But they all showed a beautiful example of a trans woman. Like I saw how they lived. They had a nice home. They had a car. They had, you know, it wasn't just like a afterthought. Like their career really meant something. And I always was like, I'm gonna have that. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna be comfortable in my art.
I love that.
Yeah.
How do you feel to be that for other people now?
Wild, because I still feel like I'm faking it. I'm like, where? Still dressed up, y'all.
Yeah. Drag and, you know, trans women have always gone hand in hand. I mean, trans women have been a part of drag since the very beginning. Are there any misconceptions that you still feel are out there about trans women doing drag?
I mean, I think about like just reading some comments lately, you know, being on a bigger platform. You are open to a lot of varying point of views. Where
That's a nice way to put it.
Where my usual audience are people who are queer and like live and are accepting, but to still see how closed-minded a lot of people are, to see in their comments or in their critiques how insecure they are. Because usually when you're reading someone, you're actually showing your own cards, and you're usually saying what you're insecure about or what you are envious of. So I just find it funny to see how people are threatened by us, like just being, like not even asking, like a lot of other, you know, political parties forcing us to do what they want. We're just asking to just leave us alone.
Yeah.
You know?
You're just like, can we just live?
Can
and
I
you're
just cross the street?
Yeah, right. Exactly. Like I said, watching you, you have such a grounding energy, and it's like you want to kind of like lean in and listen. Where does that come from? And are you a pagan witch?
Yes. Yes. I think I've always been a ham. So I've always did this thing.
You're a Leo.
Yeah. And I did this thing where I would like cook or clean or like wash dishes as a kid and pretend I was Martha Stewart. So there was always a camera. So I am always narrating myself.
Yeah.
And then I have this like Leo personality where I think I'm like, I don't even know what I'm saying half the time. I'm just rambling, hopefully. It makes sense.
Like, even watching Drag Race, I think it was Mistress Isabel Brooks, where she's like, there goes Sasha, where she goes. And I was like, because I'm also like that. Like, I was having lunch with a friend once, and he was like, sweetie, not everything is an LGBTQ panel.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
but it has to be. It has to be because that's all they're allowing us to be.
Right.
So, I mean, I think a lot of my politicizing things and finding the protest in drag comes from Sasha Velour and working with her with nightgowns. Actually, a lot of it had to do with her because coming in as a trans woman, growing up with trans drag, there was like a lot of vocabulary that I wasn't aware of, even with my 20 years. But didn't start until Nightgowns, where I was with other people, other queer people that were requiring you to see them how they want.
Right.
You know, and it took me not very long, but it really soaked in. Like, I want to be accommodating for people. I was always that kid that I don't want to see the other kids get bullied.
Yeah. You said you grew up Jehovah's Witness and the family wasn't having, you know, you and whatnot. What has that taught you about redefining, you know, family relationships?
Well, I think like the 20s is about deprogramming yourself from all the things that your parents thought you needed. I always think of ourselves as like an iPhone, and we come like factory, but like we have all these useless apps that our family gives us.
Very much useless.
So we spend our whole life trying to like delete these stuffs and put things that we actually need.
Yeah.
So I feel like the reason, like my queerness was the reason why I could see through organized religion, was why I could see through like the normal family
structures.
Yes. That was shattered by queerness, you know, because we're gonna make family no matter what.
Yeah, and I think, you know, part of me, like I grew up born again Christian, and I think one of the things that I've brought from that into my queerness is the sense of community. But what's different for me, I don't know about you, is that it feels more welcoming, not this is what you should and should not do.
Yes.
I mean, we still have that, obviously, everyone's, you know, but
the gay church is shady. Darling.
So speaking of mothering, and you do mother.
Yes.
Your children, you had Carrie Colby, who was on Drag Race before you. Did that make you feel some type of way?
I was really proud. I didn't know that she even auditioned.
Yeah. She kept that from you?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it was wild. She was really a good girl. So good for the NDAs, yeah. But,
oh, yeah, that's right. Okay.
Yeah, she was a really good girl. But I could not have her be like the most famous Colby. I just couldn't.
Hold on now.
I was like, wait.
No, dial it back.
There's an egg shortage, but the mother hen is here, honey. Just let them know. It was the hen that came first.
I love it. Well, speaking of, you know, mommy, what does a mommy's night out look like for you? When you put the kids to bed, when the drag babies are asleep, what do you do to get loose?
I probably smoke 5 joints.
Work.
And watch a marathon of Golden Girls while scrolling through WitchTok.
She is a witch. I told you she was a witch.
Spells constantly. No, that is really, because like we're nightlife people, so my night out is a night in.
Yeah.
You know,
very
planted.
Yeah.
Feeling like the wallpaper in my bed.
Yeah. Just melted in. What is next for the Colby dynasty?
Oh my gosh,
for
world domination.
World domination,
World
baby.
domination. Remember that for you kids, when Madonna was in the 80s, she was on American Bandstand. They said, what do you want to do? She said, to rule the world.
Oh my God, I quote that all the time.
Right? But yeah, I mean, with this opportunity of being on Drag Race, to be a Rue girl and to get her seal of approval, the opportunities are endless. Like I see the Trixies and the Katyas and the Bobs and everyone. Like you could make anything happen. You don't necessarily even have to win.
Right.
That's the most exciting part of this.
Would you like to do like fashion?
Oh, I want to be at the front row. I want to be walking fashion shows. I want to win an Oscar.
Word.
I want to have my own one-woman show, do a world tour. Let's go. Let's do everything.
It's giving booked and busy.
Let's give it. Even if there isn't a booking, I will make it.
That is a true artist.
I will pull up to your house, knock down, hit it.
Me standing back there with a boom bug.
Yes.